Ladies and gentlemen, this is Chris, aka Barnum11970, and thank you for watching this very important video. Um, this video, if you watch it in its entirety, of the toxic chemicals that they purposely put into this product that most people probably assume are healthy, you're going to be shocked, upset, frustrated, and I hope somebody will finally act with this. I really suggest you watch this with a friend or a loved one that doesn't believe in conspiracy theories, that they don't purposely do things to injure people. Because after you see this information, I will post the link on this because you can read this for yourself. There are many links that you could check on. You are going to really rethink how the FDA and the government works, and they're not working to help you. A lot of people are trying to become health conscious. They're trying to eat better, stay away from sodas and things like that, and they try and drink more water, which is very good for you. I guess these companies seem to realize this because there's no other reason for it. Two ingredients that they place into this bottled water. This is used by a major company like McDonald's. There are some people who try and go to, like for example, live a lifestyle where they're always on the road and they have to stop at fast food places. I used to be that way myself when I was lead singer in a band, karaoke DJ, massage therapist. I was driving all around. I'd always go to fast food places. So some people think they're eating healthier when they say things like, well, I have to go there, but I'll get a salad, and instead of soda or a shake, I'll get a bottle of water. And you think you're doing something good. Well, besides the fact that the bottled waters from these industries have fluoride in them, they don't use the spring water. This one particular brand, which is a Coca-Cola based product, puts two ingredients in it. One that's not a major big deal, but it actually contributes to the second, and it's toxicity levels. Toxicity. So let's get into this. So I hope you will watch this whole video because you're going to be shocked when you hear this information. The bottled water that I am talking about, and I can't talk about any others because I don't know if this ingredient is in any other bottled water, so you'll have to do your own research. The bottled water that I am talking about today is Dasani water. Now you'll notice, like I said, companies like McDonald's and other places give this as their only product for people who want to order a bottle of water. So let's get into the ingredients. First ingredient is not a major problem, but when you hear it, you'll see it doesn't make sense. Because first of all, why are there ingredients in bottled water? You should ask the company that question like I did, and you'll be amazed at the result of the feedback I got back from them. But here we go. First ingredient in Dasani water is salt. Well, think about that, and think how ridiculous that is. You're drinking water because you're thirsty. Salt, its purpose is to dehydrate you. So right there, they're putting salt in the water to make you more thirsty. But believe it or not, it's more than just a sales technique to try and get you to increase sales or maybe buy more water. It actually affects the toxic chemical, and I'll explain that, and I will post the links. So salt will actually contribute to the problem behind the other ingredient. So this is no accident. Okay. First of all, let's get into a small, brief discussion of this second ingredient. The main ingredient, the toxic ingredient, or potentially toxic, is called potassium chloride. Now you'll see, not only will I describe what it does and what it can do to you, I'm going to show you a place that they use this in a toxic way. So let's get into it. What is potassium chloride? Potassium is a mineral that is found in many foods and is needed for several functions of your body, especially the beating of your heart. Potassium chloride is used to prevent or to treat low blood levels of potassium. Potassium levels can be low as a result of a disease or from taking certain medicines or after a prolonged illness with diarrhea or vomiting. Potassium chloride may also be used for other purposes not listed in this medication guide. Now get this part. Important information about potassium chloride. You should not use potassium chloride if you have kidney failure, Addison's disease, severe burns or other tissue injuries, And get this part, if you are dehydrated. Now remember my first ingredient that they placed in Dasani water. Well, the first ingredient is salt. What's the purpose of salt? It's to dehydrate you. So here's a warning about potassium chloride, which they have as an ingredient in Dasani water, that says do not take this product if you are dehydrated. So the company, which is run by Coca-Cola industry, puts in a ingredient that dehydrates you to actually make that toxic chemical more effective. So I'm going to leave that right there. So if you have heart problems, kidney problems, Addison's disease, if you're dehydrated, shouldn't be taking this chemical. Now, I'm going to show you, and of course, like I said, I will post the link of this is going to blow you away, of the major reason why to stay away from this chemical. And there's no other excuse of why they're putting this in other than to purposely make you sick and possibly, potentially, kill you. Not right away. Potassium chloride is the main toxic chemical in lethal injections. And I'm going to go over the three ingredients that they use to execute a person with lethal injection. And of course, again, I will post a link. You can verify this yourself. So let's see. The drugs that are administered are in this order. The first is an anesthetic, which is sodium thipenthol, which has the trademark name of pentothal. This puts the inmate into a deep sleep. This drug is a barbiturate that includes general anesthesia when administered intravenously. It can reach effective clinical concentrations in the brain within 30 seconds. Okay, so let's just leave that part right there. That's not majorly important. Part 2, the paralyzing agent. That's panchronium bromide, also known as Pavilon. This is a muscle relaxant that is given in a dose that stops breathing by paralyzing the diaphragm and lungs. Isn't that nice? Conventionally, this drug takes effect in 1 to 3 minutes after being injected. Okay, let's go to part 3. This is the toxic agent, and not even used by all states. But the main ingredient is, here comes, potassium chloride. This is given at a lethal dose in order to interrupt the electrical signaling essential to heart functions. This induces cardiac arrest. Within a minute or two after the last drug is administered, a physician or medical technician declares the inmate dead. The amount of time between the prisoner leaving the holding cell when he or she is declared dead may be just about 30 minutes. Death usually occurs anywhere from 5 to 18 minutes after execution order is given. Okay, so if this doesn't show you that these are not conspiracy theories, that they purposely put this stuff in to not kill you right away, because they don't put lethal doses. But I want you to hear the response I got from the Dasani company themselves, because I actually wrote them about this and asked them why they use a toxic chemical, and I'll read what I wrote, and you'll be amazed at the response. Okay, so I placed in basically talking about the Dasani water uses the ingredient of potassium chloride in it, and why it's being used in lethal injections. And I want to ask them why they would put this kind of toxic material into their water. And this is the response I got. Thank you for your comment, Chris. After our water goes through a reverse osmosis process to remove impurities, Dasani does add a variety of minerals to create the crisp, fresh taste you know and love. Although we are unable to disclose the exact quantities of minerals added to our water, we can tell you that the amount of these minerals are so minuscule that the U.S. Food and Drug Administration considers them dietarily insignificant, ensuring Dasani is compliant with all FDA regulations. So guess what, ladies and gentlemen? These professionals that you want to listen to, because people like me and others who talk about alternative medicines and alternative life changes like sun gazing, the FDA, which is the professionals out there, the ones that know what they're doing, have approved this. And basically said, as long as you put a little bit of poison, it's okay. Now just think how stupid and utterly ridiculous that sounds. Just imagine if you went home, let's just say you're married, and you're the husband, and you come home, and your wife wants to kill you, and she's going to put poison in your drink. Just imagine you catch her doing it, and her excuse is, to justify it, is saying, well, I only put a little bit of poison in it. It's not going to kill you right away. Would you be stupid enough to drink that beverage? Unfortunately, some people just might. But do you understand how ridiculous that sounds? They didn't acknowledge the fact that I said that this is used in lethal injections. They just said, well, the FDA says as long as we only put minuscule amounts of this murderous chemical, then it's okay. So if people are not angry by this, if people decide to do nothing, then, you know, there is no hope for people and they deserve what they get. Because I'll tell you something, I posted this information on my Facebook page. 0 people had a problem with this. So just think about all the people that you know that go to places like McDonald's, who maybe go into their local 7-Eleven and grab a bottle of this Dasani water, not even ever thinking to check that there are ingredients. And they put salt in it, which dehydrates you. That is a specific warning about potassium chloride, because it can create heart failures and kidney problems. And it's also a main ingredient in lethal injection. It's the part that murders them. But of course, it's a higher dose. So I've always said, they put toxins purposely in your food and water, not to kill you, because they want you sedated. They want you sick. Why? Because when you're sick, you need their medicine. So all the people that, for example, say that sun gazing is crazy, well, how about the FDA who approves these chemicals? Because how many places do they actually say that if you put a small amount of something, you don't even have to label it? Like, for example, the fact that they are putting aspartame in your milk. Because they put a little bit of it in there, they don't even have to mention it. And these are the people you want to be happy with to listen to? And people like me and others who try and help you about this are the crazy ones? So the next time you see somebody drinking Dasani water, maybe you should say something, because they want you sick. They don't want you dead. Some people, unfortunately, will die. How many people mysteriously died from kidney failure or died of a heart attack? Who's to say it couldn't have been from that water, because maybe they drank it all the time? Or some other chemical that they put in that we don't even know about. It's time to put our foot down and stop this, because obviously if we don't say anything, this is what's going to continue to happen. Think of it like an amusement park that has one of those free roaming zoos where you could drive through, like a drive-through safari. You ever notice like the lions and all the wild animals, they're kind of like always sleeping and relaxed? Well, that's because they medicate them. They put chemicals in their food, because that's the best way to administer chemicals to a wild animal. You don't want to go up to it and try and feed it to them. You put it in their food so they don't know it's there. So it doesn't kill them, but sedates them so they won't go and attack the cars and the people. They're doing the very same thing to us, because there is no other reason why they should be putting this ingredient into the water. And for them to respond to me in such a ridiculous, condescending, way is ridiculous. So if you want to listen to the FDA, because how many people have said, well, it's approved by the Federal Drug Administration, so it must be okay. Or, you know, our government is run professionally because they know what they're talking about. If your head is so far in the sand at this point, enjoy your water. Research this. I will post the link. Share this and spread it. And boycott that product. Unless, of course, you like making yourself sick to make them even more money. Thanks for watching, guys, and enjoy your day. Peace.